What is going on, guys? I am Just a Bull, and I am going to talk about Ocugen today. Now that's ticker symbol OCGN. If you go over here and look at the Nasdaq, right? You look at the institutional holdings right here, and there is 12.76 institutional holding. That means retailers own 87.24. Let's give it that. I think that is correct. 87.24% ownership, right? If you go over here and just look at the summary, you will look at the market cap, and you see that sitting at, if I can get it to highlight, there we go, $1.484 billion, right? So I already went ahead and took the liberty to calculate that, right? Currently right now, Ocugen is sitting at the price of 7.6, right? $7.60. So if you go ahead and divide that 1.48, right, billion dollar market cap by $7.60, the stock price, you get 194 million shares, right? 195 almost million shares. Now, I just want to go over here and look at Robinhood and how they are, I believe, leaking the actual market cap of $2.14 billion. And if you go and look at the market cap of $2.14 billion and you divide that by the $7.60, you get 281 million shares. Okay, now I already went ahead and subtracted the 281 million shares by the 194 million shares, and you get 86 million, almost 87 million shares that are outstanding, right? And this is just from the data that I have that is public, that you could do too if you do your due diligence. And so if we go over here, right, and you look at Ortex, there is 198 million outstanding shares in Ortex, and the market cap is $1.35 billion. Now, I don't go by Ortex in this calculation just because of the simple fact that Ortex doesn't have all the data, and so it's kind of hard to tell, okay, well, is this fully correct or not? I went by Nasdaq, and I trust that this right here is more of the actual shares, and this right here is Robinhood's market cap for Ocugen, while these discrepancy of 86 million shares is what I call fake or synthetic shares. If you don't know about fake or synthetic shares, or if you don't know what's going on with AMC, well, there's a lot of good DD out there for that. I would definitely suggest you go and look into all these misbehaviors going on in the market with dark pools, synthetic shares, naked short selling, all these things, right? So I want to get into here and look at the Ortex data though real quick. 98.2% utilization rate, right? Even if Ortex doesn't have 100% of the data, it is still reporting 98.2 utilization rate, right? That's crazy. If it's at 100, that basically means you can't buy any more shares of Ocugen. And let's see here, we got 69.19 million shares on loan of the free float, right? So we are going to go look over here at the short interest. We got 25.85% short interest, right? If you turn on the failures to deliver right here, you'll see that, bam, whenever it spikes up like crazy, right? There was over 1 million failed to delivers, right? 1,461,660 failures to deliver on this date of, let's see here, right down there on the bottom, if I can get it to stick. Let's see, one more over. I can't. Okay, June 29th. Okay, June 29th, it hit $9 after it plummeted down to $6 after not getting the EUA approval from the FDA for Covaxin. And if you don't know what Covaxin is, I'll show you right over here. So why Ocugen has, even though it's a biotech company, right? Why does it have a vaccine? Well, because of Bharat Biotech, right? A biotech company in India who has a vaccine. And if you don't know, the Delta variant comes from India, in which you would think that the vaccine from India is effective against the Delta variant, which is what is kind of driving the markets crazy. It's trying to, the delta is being used as FUD to tell people, hey, the market's going to crash. It's going to be because of the Delta variant. I personally don't believe that. I believe it's going to be because of the shorts having to cover, in which it will crash the market, on top of a whole bunch of other things that are going to be going on. So let's see here. If we go back to Ocugen, I just want to show you real quick. Today had its breakout, right? 70 cents plus 11 cents after hours. You wouldn't think that that's too much of a breakout, but it is an amazing breakout for a stock that has been shorted to oblivion. Now, if you look at Ocugen 3 years ago, August 31st, $175. It was shorted to oblivion down to 20 cents, like 21 cents, 20 cents right there. It's crazy. Hedge funds and institutions who have been shorting Ocugen have made a fortune off of shorting Ocugen. Okay, and if you look at the 1 year, we are currently up 1,404% over the last year. Okay, at its height, right up here, you got 3,000%, and I believe this February 8th was its biggest. It actually went up to like $18. And that is again another 3,000%, right? So in the last year, Ocugen, right, has had one short squeeze, two short squeezes, and I believe it's time for a third short squeeze. Now, why do I believe that? Well, let's see here. February 1st, right, 181, and then bam, February 2nd, it went to 326, drew some attraction, and the good news, right? The good news of Ocugen partnering up with Biotech for Covaxin happened on February 2nd, which triggered that first short squeeze. Again, another short squeeze in which it was announced that Ocugen with Covaxin was gonna pursue an EUA with the US FDA, and I know that's a lot of synonyms and stuff like that, but basically Ocugen tried pursuing the emergency use authorization for Covaxin in the US, right? In which case it would speed up the process so that Covaxin could be manufactured in the US, because Ocugen makes money from commercialization of Covaxin in the US market and Canada. That's the deal that Ocugen has with Biotech. Now, let's get into some of the nitty gritty here. July 21st, 770. If you look at it, we are right back at 770 just about. From July 21st all the way to August 4th, right? 670, 670, 6. This day was also 670 as I was watching it. That was the low. And it was unable to break that $6.70. People would call it a support, but I call that the limit, because the fact that it could not break that $6.70 stock price just shows me that retailers are not selling their shares. And let's see here, this week it was hammered with just manipulation. I mean, it was just trying to break that 670 all week this last week until today, in which it had the breakout. So now you look at Ocugen, right? Just recently, it was added to the Russell Index 2000. If you go look at the Russell Index 2000 over the last 3 months, right? It's been going from 211 to 232, right? $20 mark, right? Well, it's been doing that for pretty much a whole year, since January 29th, $205, right, to 234. So 213, 234, 211, 234, 235, whatever. Look at that. It's just about $20, right? The Russell 2000, these are 2,000 companies that makes up a portion of the market, and this is what the ETF is, right? The index. It has been just straight, almost kind of flat over the last year. So I personally believe, again, this is just my opinion, I am not a financial advisor, and this is for entertainment purposes only. These are my theories of how, if you are on the Russell 2000, you are a stock that is going to be shorted. I mean, AMC is on the Russell 2000, and we know how that story goes. Over here, January 27th, there's a bit of a short squeeze, right, $4 to $20. and then bam, everybody knows about this one. May 21st all the way up to June 2nd, it went from $12 to $72, right? And then we have right here, if we go look at the 3 months period, and from July 21st, right, $40.78 all the way down until August 4th, it went from essentially, let's see here, 40 to 30, $10, right? But for a whole month, no matter how much buying retailers continue to do in AMC, and no matter how much diamond hands AMC has, right, of retailers, the price has just been manipulated. Look at this, for the last month, it's gone down 36%, right? If you go out 3 months, you can't see too much after that, but yes, it has gone down about from 72 to $30, right? Over 50%. And again, today, right, August 4th was the most manipulation I've ever seen on any Russell 2000 index stock, right? Even yesterday, right, we touched 722 and it just went kerplunk all the way back to 678. All those gains straight back down, right? Now the theory behind this is that if you've seen AMC and some DD videos on that, it will tell you, or they will tell you, that through ETFs, indexes, they can short a security price, right, a stock price, through shorting the ETFs that they are in. So why I bring that up? Well, one, the Russell 2000, again, heavily shorted, just kind of sitting in this $20 range. And if you go look at the Fintel data, right, this right here is for Ocugen ownership. This tells you who is buying in green, who is selling in red. And if you want to take a look right there from 805, this is up to date. And it will tell you Vanguard holds 9 million current shares, right? Vanguard just holds 9 million shares, and it is at 5.6% ownership in the whole company. Now remember again, there is only about 12.76 institutional ownership in Ocugen. So Vanguard makes up half of that. But this is something that I found out. If you go and look at Vanguard, right? I mean, Fintel, and you look at institutional holdings, you see how many shares these institutions hold from, again, top to or from the most to the lowest. And if you look over here, Vanguard again has 8.1 million shares, but Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund has 5 million shares, and then you've got BlackRock and this other biotech ETF with 4 million, but then bam, another Vanguard ETF with 2.6, another Vanguard with right here 500,000 right there. So you gotta ask yourself, well, Vanguard supposedly only has 9 million shares in Ocugen and only a 5.6% ownership, but in reality, even though they are different names, ETFs, whatever, Vanguard holds over 16 million shares of Ocugen. Okay. So again, institutional holdings is only at 12.76. Let's take that into account. Retailers own that 87% of Ocugen. And I just want to go over here real quick, looking at who is shorting Ocugen, right? This tells you the short positions, right? Belvedere Trading LLC. Well, let's look. They have a put on 723. That was the latest short position put out there on that data. Look at 723. Belvedere added 705 shares, but they also have puts right here. Now I can't see it because I don't have a subscription. If you do, go ahead, check it out. But yes, so you see all these puts, right? New positions, right? All these puts. You got Citadel and just big hedge funds in here, and I am telling you, the hedge funds are burning in Ocugen. They are bleeding. I mean, I just want to bring this up real quick. Let's go over here and look at I just want to show this real quick here. Ocugen puts. Oh, it is not working here. You know, there is something going on. Let's see here. There we go. So I just want to show you this real quick, okay? 67,000 put options, 68,000 almost put options. You think about that, right? 68,000 put options. Do you know how many shares that is? Well, let's go and look. 60, let's say 8,000 options times that by 100 shares for each option means 6.8 million shares. And if you look at the institutional ownership, or if you go look at Vanguard, that's over 2/3 of how many shares Vanguard even has in Ocugen. Now, people are wondering, okay, well, how are these shares being synthetic or fake or like just pushed around? How are there so many outstanding shares? Well, put options are one of the ways that market makers are continuing to manipulate the stock price, right? If you put it into an option, right, you buy these shares, you put it into an option, and then like you, even if they expire, in which case I was watching it back at this time, these 68,000 put options expired, worthless. I was watching that was a really big battle. They tried hammering it down past $5. They could not get it past $6. So that was a great job that was a great time for the Ocu family, honestly, having diamond hands, the OGs in Ocugen that have been holding on to this stock. I mean, they just have diamond hands with only 12.76 ownership of institutional holdings. Retailers own the float, right? So I wanted to get into this. Now, this is where it got a little fishy, right? Because I looked at this information, right? Who is having these short sale transactions? I can't actually see it because I don't have subscription requirements, or I don't have a subscription. But if we look at this, right? EDGX, BATS, EDGX, all these venues, right? All these exchanges, they're actually dark pool exchanges. They are contracting all these short sales, right? You got market makers, short sales, and then there are E4 exempts, but in which there are no exempts here, right? Let's see. I don't see one exempt. Now, I may be wrong. My eyes are moving too fast, but I don't see one. Okay. So, look at this. 804, there were over like this whole screen right here, 804. All these short sales were happening on August 4th when the price just went from like 720 something all the way straight down back to 670, right? All those gains just plummeted right back down to 670. And August 3rd, you got all of these here. August 2nd, this will go on and on and on. This is how much short selling is happening in Ocugen at this moment. I mean, even since yesterday, right? We don't have any information about August 5th on here yet. I believe that will be coming out. But here, I wanted to go and look at what is EDGX, right? And I looked it up, and EDGX was bought out by CBOE, which is another dark pool, right? Let's go look at their about us. And, well, this is actually their about us. Well, CBOE, they are essentially a dark pool exchange, right? They have options, ETFs, they control this stuff. It's crazy because if you go and, here, I'll just show you guys real quick. CBOE, actually, EDGX venue. Let's look that up, right? EDGX definition Wikipedia, or Investopedia. It was purchased by CBOE, right? CBOE also acquired BATS Global. If you look back at here, you see BATS, EDGX. And CBOE members registered broker-dealers across a broad range of financial services and companies. If you want to stop and pause the video to look at what CBOE does, you've got that right here. If you want to go look for it yourself, you can definitely do that as well. Here it tells you, we are defining markets to benefit all participants. We are unique among global exchange operators in our ability to drive the global marketplace forward through product innovation, leading edge technology, and seamless trading solutions. In other words, high frequency trading, dark pool trading, manipulation. Okay, so I want to look at Edward T. Tilley, right? Now, if you look right here, Mr. Tilley expanded global access CBOE's flagship products to the S&P 500 and CBOE to the VIX, right? Options and futures. Through the launch of global trading hours, he secured exclusive licensing agreements with major global index providers, the Russell, right? The Russell 2000, MSCI, and launched products that added significant international dimensions to the CBOE's index option franchise, right? So if you go back and you think about, okay, 60, almost 8,000 put options, right? You go look at the FinTel, who is processing all this? EDGX BATS, EDGX BATS, that is CBOE, right? You go and look at the short positions, right? You go and look at who's holding these shares, Vanguard, right? And you look at who's loading up. You look at all these things and you put it together, right? CBOE, Edward T. Tilley, securing exclusive licensing agreements with the Russell, right? I believe, again, this is just my due diligence, my theories, entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. This right here is possibly what the feds need to crack down on, as there are continual just non-transparency misbehaviors happening in the stock market. It is exchanges and venues like CBOE that allows it and processes it, okay? Now, I want to show this Mega Prasad, right? August 5th, 2021. Today, big breaking. World Health Organization clearance for Covaxin expected after 15th of August. Government sources say all required criteria for clearance has been fulfilled. Okay, so we are looking for Covaxin to be approved by the World Health Organization after the 15th of August. Now, Ocugen and Biotech, they have given dates before and it did not fall on dates. I mean, I like how they are being transparent and is telling you, hey, it's going to happen after the 15th of August, right? That is great news, right? So currently right now, it is 8:05. I mean, it is 8:05. It is August 5th. Tomorrow's August 6th. And then August 9th, I believe, is going to be Monday, market open. And, you know, you got 5 days there. So in 2 weeks, right? At least 2 weeks, right? You're going to have World Health Organization announcing their approval of Covaxin, in which I truly believe it'll happen, because the thing about Covaxin is it is Indians' pride on the line, as they have had the Indian government kind of facilitate and work together with Biotech to create Covaxin, right? And not just that, but the people that have Covaxin, if you are not vaccinated with the vaccine that is approved by the World Health Organization, you cannot travel out of your country. So if Covaxin is approved, then the Indian people can then again begin to travel outside of the country. That is why Covaxin approval is so important, and it is inevitable. In my opinion, it is inevitable. So I wanted to bring this up real quick too. Investor plays, right? Just 3 days ago, they created this article, throw in the towel, Ocugen Stock is not coming back, right? One thing that I've learned about these stock medias is that they will always write a good piece and a bad piece. They will show the good piece if a price of a stock goes up, and they will show the bad piece if it goes down, right? So who runs Investorpedia? Oh, Investor Place, not Investorpedia, Investor Place. Look at this. You've got editor, right, Dan Wiener, the independent advisor for Vanguard investors. And you've also got an editor/researcher director, the independent advisor for Vanguard investors. If you go and look, Vanguard has 5.6% ownership, the biggest, right? Possibly the biggest ownership of Ocugen, right? About half of it, technically. And even more as we looked over here, and you see they have it in the indexes, etc., etc., etc. Why are they allowing Investor Place to make articles that say throw in the towel on Ocugen? Well, I am pretty sure, in my opinion, that Vanguard is actually the hedge fund that is shorting Ocugen. You see, there is no way that Vanguard editors would allow for these articles to be coming out if Vanguard wanted the stock price to go up, right? If Vanguard was investing in Ocugen because they wanted to go up, well, you know that whole saying, the dip before the rip, that is what they have been trying to do, spreading FUD over the last few months on Ocugen, saying about all these lawsuits and all these other things, right? If you've been in the stock twits boards, you've seen it all. There has been crazy FUD, just crazy fear, uncertainty, and doubt being spread about Ocugen. So, where does that leave me now? Well, the shorts I've not covered. There is a approximate utilization rate of almost 100%. We've got this catalyst, right? If it gets approved by World Health Organization, what we've seen twice in the last year, right? What we've seen twice, right? Right here, up to $15. That's 100%. I mean, that's double right there. And right up here, back up to 15. Right now we're sitting at $7.60. I bet you that short squeeze is coming. It is coming. That's all I've got for you today, guys. I am just a bull. I am excited about Ocugen. If you want to do your DD, do your DD in Ocugen. There's a lot of things going on here. Manipulation, day in, day out, and having these catalysts, right? The EPS was moved up a week from their expected. The EPS was supposed to come out next week, but they moved it up a week, so now it's coming out tomorrow, pre-market. There's going to be good news on that. Take a look at that, and I am just excited for what is going on around this stock. That is all for me. I'll see you guys next time.